Welcome to Books and Bytes, your shortcut to big ideas. Stay, listen, and level up one book at a time.
Absolutely.
Today, we find ourselves in a very special cafe in Tokyo
Oh, yeah.
called Funicula.
Okay.
It's the setting of Toshikazu Kawaguchi's novel, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and the cafe has an extraordinary secret,
Okay.
a single seat that allows you to travel back in time.
Interesting.
There are a few catches, of course,
Yeah.
and that's where we'll be spending our time today,
Okay.
exploring this book. And the idea that maybe some trips down memory lane could be more than just wishful thinking.
What really captivated me about this book is
Yeah.
how it shifts the focus of time travel.
Okay.
It's less about altering the past and more about reconciling with it.
Right.
It really makes you think about how you'd approach those second chances
Mhm.
if you knew you couldn't change the outcome.
It is a unique twist on the genre.
Yeah.
And the cafe itself is as enchanting as the idea of time travel.
Right.
Funicula is tucked away in a back alley.
Interesting.
It's almost like you need to be looking for it to actually find it.
The cafe's location definitely adds to its mystique.
Right.
It's described as a place where time feels different, almost suspended.
Yeah.
And then there's the time travel seat itself,
Okay.
constantly occupied by a ghost who only vacates it
Oh, wow.
at very specific times. It creates this intriguing blend of the ordinary and the supernatural.
Now, let's not forget the rules of time travel in this world.
Yeah.
They're very specific, almost ritualistic.
Okay.
Staying seated in the chair, only being able to meet people who've also visited the cafe.
Great.
It feels like stepping into a game with very high stakes.
The most crucial rule,
Oh.
and the one that adds a layer of philosophical depth to the story, is that you can't change the past.
Right.
No matter what you do or say during your time travel, the present remains untouched.
So, what's the point then?
Exactly. It makes you wonder what's the point of going back then. But as each character's story unfolds,
Okay.
you start to understand that the journey is more about inner transformation than outward change.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, the book introduces us to 4 customers,
Okay.
each with their own yearning to revisit the past.
Mm-hmm.
There's Fumiko, a businesswoman
Right.
who wants to talk to her boyfriend before he moves to America.
Okay.
Then there's Kotake,
Yeah.
whose husband is battling Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
She longs to receive a letter he wrote her before his memory faded.
And these stories, while different in their specifics, start to reveal a common thread.
Oh.
It's the power of connection and the things we wish we had said or done for Fumiko. It's about finding closure and expressing her feelings before it's too late.
Okay.
Kotake's story, on the other hand, is about holding on to a tangible piece of her husband's love. That letter becomes a symbol of their connection, something that transcends the limitations of his illness.
It's fascinating how each character approaches their time travel opportunity.
Yeah.
Their motivations are so personal, yet they tap into these universal emotions that I think we can all relate to in some way.
What strikes me is how their individual desires for a second chance, whether it's to express love, seek forgiveness, or simply find a moment of peace, are all rooted in a need for connection. And that need in itself transcends time. It's something we carry with us throughout our lives.
The book also explores this idea of finding solace within limitations.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though the characters can't change the events of the past,
Right.
the act of going back allows them to shift their perspective. It's like they gain a newfound understanding or acceptance of what happened.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Take Kotake, for instance.
Yeah.
She knows she can't bring back her husband's memories.
Right.
But receiving that letter allows her to reconnect with a part of him
Okay.
that Alzheimer's can't erase.
Right.
It's a poignant reminder that love can endure, even in the face of loss and memory impairment.
That detail about the letter is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's not just about seeing her husband again.
Right.
It's about having a tangible symbol of their love, something she can hold on to. It speaks to the importance we place on objects and memories as anchors to our past.
And then you have Keenlive,
Okay.
who wants to see her unborn daughter, even though her own future is uncertain.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the depth of a mother's love and the inherent need to protect and connect with her child, even across time.
Yeah.
It's a desire that many parents can relate to.
Right.
This yearning to see their children thrive and to leave behind a positive legacy, however big or small.
The way Kawaguchi weaves these stories together, connecting them through the cafe and its unique rules, adds another layer to the experience.
Right.
It's like the cafe itself becomes a character, a silent observer of these unfolding human dramas.
It's almost like a sanctuary for these individuals, a space where they can confront their pasts and perhaps even glimpse a different future, even if it's just a fleeting moment. And the fact that time seems to move differently within the cafe, almost more slowly and deliberately, encourages introspection and a savoring of those precious moments.
It's also fascinating how the book highlights the importance of ritual. And those small gestures that often go unnoticed, like the way the cafe regulars treat the ghost who occupies the time travel seat with a kind of reverent respect. It speaks to the sense of community within this unique space.
Or how Kazu, the barista, meticulously prepares each customer's coffee, knowing that those last sips hold a special significance before they return to the present. It's such a small detail, but it emphasizes the value of being present in those seemingly ordinary moments, because those moments, when you string them together, make up a life.
And that brings us back to the book's central question. If you had the opportunity, what moment from your own past would you choose to revisit?
Interesting.
Would you seek closure with a loved one, relive a cherished memory? Or maybe just try to understand a past decision with a fresh perspective?
It's a question that makes you think about your own life. Your regrets and the moments that have shaped you. And while the book's premise is fantastical, it ultimately reminds us that we don't need time travel to reflect on our past, to cherish the present, or to approach the future with a renewed sense of purpose.
It's almost like the book invites us to have our own cup of coffee and contemplate these big questions about time, regret, and connection. Would we choose to revisit moments of joy? Or would we be drawn to those that still cause us pain?
That's the beauty of Before the Coffee Gets Cold.
Yeah.
It allows us to explore these introspective journeys alongside the characters without necessarily providing definitive answers. It encourages us to find our own meaning within the narrative and to connect it to our own lives.
And it does so with a grace and sensitivity that's really captivating.
Absolutely.
Kawaguchi's writing is simple, yet profound. You can feel the weight of these characters' emotions, the longing, the heartache, the quiet moments of hope. It's a book that stays with you long after you finish the last page.
It makes you appreciate the quiet beauty of everyday moments and the enduring power of human connection. Even though time keeps moving forward, the impact of our relationships, whether they span years or just a fleeting encounter, leaves an imprint on our hearts.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Before the Coffee Gets Cold, I'm curious which character resonated with you the most. And if you had the chance to visit the Funicular Cafe, what moment from your own past would you choose to revisit?
For me, it's the collective longing for connection that resonates most deeply. Each character, in their own way, seeks to bridge a gap, to find solace in a shared moment. Whether it's with a lost love, a fading memory, or an uncertain future. It reminds us that even within the constraints of time, human connection is a powerful force.
Well said. And I think that's a beautiful note to end on.
Absolutely.
Before the Coffee Gets Cold is a story that reminds us to cherish the present, to be mindful of the connections we forge, and to find meaning in the moments, big and small, that make up our lives.
If you're looking for a book that will transport you, move you, and leave you with a renewed appreciation for the simple yet profound beauty of human connection, Before the Coffee Gets Cold is definitely worth adding to your reading list.
You can find a link to buy or grab a copy of the book from the link in the description. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join us for our next deep dive into another fascinating read.
Sounds good.
Until then, happy reading.